Past 3 years, swarms of unassimilated migrants have spiked its crime rate. Millions are unemployable. Not unemployed, but unemployable. It's a huge drag on their economy and society. But most ominous will be the erosion of Germany's national identity. They actually are addressing that now with proposing much more stringent immigration policies. The Brits looked at Germany and across the EU and saw the migrant madness. Brexit was predictable, an irrational response. Lest you think this is a European conundrum.
They have the skill that says Conor McGregor, Tyson Fury, Satan himself can have a shot. He will have nothing against me protecting that child in that womb. Because that is you 15, 20, 22, 23 years ago. What if Charlie's mom, what if Charlie Kirk's mom had a whisper in her ear that said, life will be a little more comfortable if you don't have diapers and things? What if Donald Trump's mom said, I'm going to abort? And if there are girls in the room that has gone through that, there is redemption for this group that I'll never say again. This is a time and a marker. Today, I don't know who speaks after me, good luck. Before me, I really don't care. This moment, right now, this moment, you make a decision in your character. Whether you're going to become a human being that's going to contribute to this society or be a leech that sucks from it. Okay? And I'm telling you, if a fire ignites in you to become a protector of the values that you stand for in your campus, or in the marketplace, or wherever, or inside Turning Point, once that fire is lit in you, and you feel that, man, there's a wind that'll come behind you, God says, I will never leave you, not forsake you. Psalm 81 verse 10 says, if you open your mouth, I will fill it. You may think you're unqualified. I don't care if you're the guy who's in the science lab and doesn't know how to string one sentence together. If you are willing, He'll make you able. If you will stand, it'll happen. I'm telling you. Something to you. Now listen, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And yes, that's Satan, but I'm telling you, that's the left. They're here to steal, kill, and destroy everything that you stand for. They're here to steal life from you. Beautiful. They have a corruptive and destructive mindset because they want to control what they fear. That's the nature. Jordan Peterson will tell you that's the nature of the human being. If I cannot control it and I fear it, fear consumes you. Then I got to do something to minimize it, so it makes sense to me. They're not going to minimize you. They're not going to silence you. They're not going to stop you. You're going to create businesses. You're going to flourish financially. You're going to create families. You're going to uplift the society. You're going to turn this Turning Point thing upside down. Charlie hasn't seen a thing yet, by the way. Nothing. So, this is going to be weird, man. You okay? Am I allowed to touch you? You're going to be weird. Okay? I want you to see something. Because I want you to hear my heart. I want you to hear how serious I am about you. I care about you. When I told that dude I love him as much as his mother, I mean it. I mean it. Why? Because I'm so freaking passionate to light a fire in you that you wake up and do something with your life that's so significant that society can benefit from, and you will be rewarded. I want to show you. I'm here to serve. There was a day when a guy walked in the room, and it was busy, and people were preparing things, and one girl did this to a guy. Now a guy is going to do this to a girl to show you that there's no class and race in this country. We are one. So I would like to wash your feet. Because I'm telling you that I want to honor you. You're an amazing human being. God has given you ability inside you to create life. You're powerful. You're worthy. You're worth it. I've never met you. And I can't possibly love you more. There's only one woman I can love more, and she's backstage, right? And she's so much better than me. So I don't have water, I've got nothing. But as a symbol of what it looks like when a Caucasian guy says, I don't see color. It doesn't exist. You're my sister in this country, and I want you to go fight and be a protector. So symbolically, okay, with no water, and I don't cry much because it was done with tears back then on Jesus' feet, right? I don't have the tears right now. But I mean, there is water, but that would be a mess. Symbolically, I want you to remember this for the rest of your life. That you can bring a new message to your kids that says, they're lying to us. They don't hate us. We're one. It's not black and white. Okay? We're not marching the bridges anymore. Okay? We're not picking cotton fields. We cannot perpetuate this self-destructive lie in our country that there's division. So for the sake of there never being division again, and Candace, I don't know if you can see this, I'm just going to wash your feet the best way I know how. And so I'm going to serve you there. I don't know how. Okay? This is weird. I've never been able to be conventional though. So man, listen. You're worth it. And I want to protect you, right? And I want to say that I care about you. And if I could, I would wash your feet. And I would bring the best oil I had. And I would dote it on you. And I would speak life into your womb. And I would say the guy that's going to marry you better be a freaking champion. Okay? And you start praying for that guy. And if you're not a praying woman, start, because there's a destiny and a call in your life. Because I asked God this morning to pick the girl to come on stage. Oh.
Are essentially the same, but they're not. In fact, liberalism and leftism have almost nothing in common. But the left has appropriated the word liberal so effectively, almost everyone, liberals, leftists, and conservatives, thinks they are synonymous. But they're not. Let me offer you 6 examples. 1, race. This is probably the most obvious difference between liberal and left. The liberal position on race has always been, A, the color of a person's skin is insignificant, and B, those who believe race is significant are racists. Meanwhile, the left believes the very opposite. To the left, it's the liberal attitude toward race. It's unimportant. That is racist. That's why the University of California officially lists the statement, there is only one race, the human race, as racist. And liberals have always been passionately committed to racial integration, while the left is increasingly committed to racial segregation, such as all black dormitories and separate black graduations at universities. 2, capitalism. Liberals have always been pro-capitalism because liberals are committed to free enterprise and because they know capitalism is the only way to lift great numbers of people out of poverty. It is true that liberals want government to play a bigger role in the economy than conservatives do. But liberals never opposed capitalism, and they were never for socialism. Opposition to capitalism and advocacy of socialism are left-wing values. 3, nationalism. Liberals believe in a nation-state, whether that nation is the United States, Brazil, or France. But because the left divides the world by class rather than by national identity, the left has always opposed nationalism. So, while liberals have always wanted to protect American sovereignty and borders, the left is for open borders. When the writers of Superman were liberals, Superman was a proud American whose very motto was truth, justice, and the American way. But that all changed a few years ago when left-wing writers took over the comic strip and had Superman renounce his American citizenship to be a citizen of the world. The left has contempt for nationalism, seeing it as the road to fascism. Better that we should all be citizens of the world in a world without borders. 4. View of America. Liberals have always venerated America. Watch American films from the 1930s through the 1950s, and you'll be watching overtly patriotic, America-celebrating films, virtually all produced, directed, and acted by liberals. Liberals were quite aware of America's imperfections, but they agreed with Abraham Lincoln that America is the last best hope of Earth. The left, however, believes the left is the last best hope of Earth, and regards America as racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, violent, and imperialistic. 5. Free speech. No one has been more committed than American liberals to the famous statement, "I wholly disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it." But the left is leading the first widespread suppression of free speech in modern American history. From the universities, to the tech companies that govern the internet, to almost every other institution and place of work. Of course, the left claims to only oppose hate speech. But putting aside the fact that the left deems hate speech anything it differs with, protecting what you or I might consider hate speech is the entire point of free speech. 6. Western civilization. Liberals have always championed and sought to protect Western civilization. Liberals celebrate the West's unique moral, philosophical, artistic, musical, and literary achievements, and have taught them at virtually every university. The most revered liberal in American political history, President Franklin Roosevelt, often cited the need to protect Western civilization and even Christian civilization. Yet when President Donald Trump spoke of the need to protect Western civilization in a speech in Warsaw, the left-wing media, also known as the mainstream media, denounced him. They argued that Western civilization is no better than any other, and that Western civilization is just a euphemism for white supremacy. So then, if liberalism and leftism are so different, why don't liberals oppose the left? In a nutshell, because they have been taught all their lives to fear the right.
Kyle was a student at Stoneman Douglas High School. After a horrific shooting, he came out as a vocal pro-Second Amendment warrior. And also he is the director of high school outreach for Turning Point USA. He is one of the bravest kids I have ever met in my life. And there's never been someone at the age of 17 that has done more for the conservative movement or the pro-Second Amendment movement than Kyle Kashuv. Give it up for Kyle.
Good, and I don't mean to pick on you. It's good to feel encouraged. It's good to be with like-minded people and to applaud that. But how do you live that? Don't ever apologize for what you believe. Ever. Ever. And don't let anybody on any college campus anywhere tell you to keep your mouth shut, tell you to keep quiet, tell you not to offend, tell you to zip your lip, when in fact everyone else is suffocating you with their nonsense. Stand boldly with conviction on everything. And my faith defines my worldview as a husband, as a father, how I was as a business person, how I am as governor of Kentucky. Everything that I do is filtered through that prism. And prayer is an important part of my life. And I pray for two specific things for my children. Two of my children are here. I won't make them stand up, they'd be embarrassed. But I have of my 9 children, 2 that are 13. 5 of our children were born to us. 4 were adopted into our family. So I have 2 13-year-olds who don't happen to be twins, but they are here with me today. And they are. I pray for them, both with them and for them when I'm not with them? Two things. And I will leave you with this, because it is my prayer for each and every one of you. It's my prayer for this nation. I pray that my children will know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. That's what this is about in some measure. What is right? What is worth fighting for? What is worth being bold and acting with conviction on? But sometimes that's the easiest thing. To know what is right is sometimes so much easier than the second thing. And trust me, we do live in a mixed up world where up is down and in is out and right is wrong, and you are being fed a lot of confusing baloney. So I pray that you will have the discernment, the judgment, the wisdom to know the difference between right and wrong. But the second thing I hope for you and pray for you, as I do for my children, is that in addition to knowing the right thing to do, that you will have the courage to do that right thing. That is where action happens. People talk about men and women of vision. People talk about men and women of vision. Every one of us is born innately as a child. We all dream of things when we're 4, 5, 6 years old. There's nothing we don't think we can't do. But history looks back on certain people, some of whose names we've mentioned already today, as visionaries, as people who have changed the trajectory of the world. What is the difference between the dreamers and the visionaries? It is action. That's it. It's it. It's people who put into action the very things that innately all human beings cry out for, those inalienable rights, to include liberty, freedom, the very thing you're about. So I pray that you will know the difference between right and wrong. I pray that you will have the courage to do it. And I look forward to growing old in America, where young people like yourselves are in charge. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Is that once you're elected, no one can complain about what you do because, as you put it, democracy.
And you have the right to complain, and I think everyone has the right to.
So let's. And I think that's you made a silly point. I destroyed it. Let's get to the real meat of this, which is how actually does it help the citizens, whether they voted for them or not? Well, in Philadelphia, how does it help allowing criminals to go unpunished or to escape federal law enforcement? How does that benefit the Philadelphians?
Well, there's two systems, right? The preliminary arraignment reporting system that we just cut out, right? That essentially prevented ICE from going into the system that, immigration's day-to-day interaction. So if they go to a party with a bunch of foolish teenagers and they go call police and they arrest a teenager, that's a system they're going to cut out. Like, ICE doesn't need to get involved in that. The system, if someone gets arrested for a violent crime, they still go through FBI and Department of Homeland Security fingerprints. So violent criminals, people who threaten us harm, will still be going through a system. They'll still get background, and ICE still has this information. To two separate systems, people of Philadelphia will still be protected. ICE will not target just teenager.
So they won't enforce federal law in Philadelphia. So that's a federal law. By the way, voted for under the system that you lauded when you first sat down, or democracy. People voted for those laws, and you're now saying that it's immoral to enforce them. So I guess I'm the one who believes in democracy, not you. But by your standard, the state of New York has an assault weapons ban. Lots of towns are against that. Should local sheriffs say, I'm not for the ban, I'm not going to refer violators of the ban to the feds or to the state. Would that be okay with you?
Well, we already have some counties in upstate or across the country who are pushing against gun laws, right? Don't we have?
No, we don't have any.
Plenty of times where your side resists and people.
No.
This is democracy.
We actually.
People resist in terms of the policies that they disagree with.
What they don't do is encourage the violation of law, because that's not democracy, that's anarchy, okay? So you know as well as I that if there was a town in New York that's like, we're just going to bang your gun laws, how's that sound? That you'd be outraged. I actually wouldn't like it either, because I kind of believe in the law. So why is this different? Because one is fashionable and helps the Democratic Party and the other's not, right?
Well, listen, I think, when it comes to the resist movement, we have seen this across the country, whether it's Republican or Democrat, whether it's liberal or conservative, everyone has the right to resist, and that's what democracy is, right? So we're not debating about fashion laws. We're debating about whether or not I should violate people's constitutional rights. And I think that's what's at stake at this moment.
Oh, okay, so deporting someone here illegally is violating his constitutional right. That's so insane, I'm not even sure I can. Very quickly, I just want to ask you this. So there are now calls on the left to make healthcare universal Medicaid. This country is tens of trillions in debt. Should we extend those benefits to illegal aliens? And if so, why?
Well, I think it goes to the concept of citizenship, right? As a nation, we have matured from only free landowner white people to now.
Don't hit me with this, right?
No.
As a citizen of a country controlling the country,
I believe not only I believe that we should open the franchise, the right to vote to everyone, because it's unique,
including you. You're here illegal.
To all of you guys that are in here today, honestly, it's been absolutely amazing.
And if you want to get involved with Turning Point USA and you're not yet involved, we have our staff out there, and this has just been the most amazing couple days, the largest ever conservative student gathering in our nation's history.
We're humbled. We stay in this fight because of you. It's not easy to wake up every day and to have your name in the news and to have people screaming at you and saying things that aren't true. And I want to let you guys know that on days that we feel really, really low, the reason that I get up out of bed and some days it's been the most difficult weeks of my life this year is because of you guys. Waking up, reading your comments, hearing you fighting, it literally energizes me in the morning, and I would not be standing on this stage. I was a girl who had a dream and started my life on YouTube. I was a nobody when I stood on this stage last year and you guys cheered for me. Everything that I have, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, want you to know is because of you guys. I will never not appear. I will never not be in the audience. I will never not take pictures. You guys are the fighters that have allowed me to be on this stage today. God bless you guys. God bless this amazing country. We owe everything to you guys.
Thank you guys so much. We will see you next year. Thank you guys.
Okay guys, so I just wanted to wrap this video up really quick. It's a super long video, I'm sorry for that. But I hope you guys did like this video. If you did, make sure to click the like button down below. Also make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks guys for watching. Love you.